honestly, this might not be a popular opinion, but I think that fathers should take at least 80 to 90% of the raising of children.
Come on, man. Let's get into this.
Let's do it. You want to do it? Let's do it.
Let's go viral, man.
Let's go viral. Black fathers should take on 80 to 90% of raising the children. And I'll say it like this. If you have a son, black women, if you are in a co-parenting situation, and if you have a son who is between, I'll give you some grace, 9, 10, 11, you should be emotionally, mentally, spiritually planning to let your son move with his father. Unless it's some type of abuse, unless if he works overseas, there's some major things that's stopping that. I promise you, you will save yourself a lot of stress, and you will put your son in a very good developmental space. We've seen it in Boys in the Hood. The moment Trey started thinking he was because you got to think your body is changing.
Mom don't scare me no more.
No, bro. I remember I used to be like, Mama, call my dad, because like at this point we just going back and forth. You yelling and screaming and mad and hitting me going upside my head. I'm trying to get this over with.
This mom just don't take the belt from me.
Please. If my dad, I swear to God, I'm telling this, if I was to live with my dad at an earlier age, I promise you I'll probably be in a whole different position, right?
I mean, listen, I ended up moving with my father when I became a teenager.
You see, honestly,
man should always have a woman at least 7 years, younger than him or younger. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's where you get your true masculinity from. Because she's going to look up to you. But if a woman your age, she's going to challenge you. Y'all going to be having arguments about bullshit. When I deal with women, I like to deal with younger women because I could tell them about, Martin Luther King. I could tell them about, Egypt. I could tell them about different things. And they're more curious and they're more attentive. You know what I'm saying? But if you talk to an older woman, they so preoccupied and they don't really want to talk because they feel like they already learned that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that is not cool for a man. A man have to be a ruler. A man have to be a boss. If she ain't got nothing in her, I'm going to put something in her. So by the time she get through fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to raise her skirt. I'm going to raise her intelligence. You know what I'm saying? But if she know everything, we're going to be clashing. You see what I'm saying? So I prefer them young, fine, and qualified because sometimes people, they think they know something. You try to teach them. See, I'm going to tell you an old trick that my daddy said. He said, son, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can teach a new dog old tricks. See what I'm saying? Man.
Why are you settling with a woman with kids, bro? You think I'm about to settle with a woman with kids, bro? And I don't have kids? She wouldn't even want me to do that. One kid? I'm good. Because I don't have to deal with that. That's what I be trying to tell y'all as a man. Bro, certain shit, bro, when you got your shit together, bro, you just don't have to deal with certain shit. You got all this going on for yourself and you finna settle for a single mother? God finna punish you for that one, boy. I gave you these riches. I gave you this kind of mindset and you just wasted it on another man's children? Why not take care of your own children? I don't want to join another family, bro. I want to create my own family, G. And if you shame me for that, that's okay.
Dedicate to all you old stick daddy ass niggas.
Alright, Shalom. Before I begin, I want to start out by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach in the course where I learn this truth. Alright, peace and salutations to the elect, which is the house of David. Alright, finna get into a, morning lesson, Lord willing to be edifying. Just something quick, right fast. Alright, just dealing with why men should raise their sons and why men should always be, at the forefront of the congregation, as the scriptures say. Alright, so I showed you a couple of clips. Alright, and them men of the world gave you their take on it, and you can learn something from men of the world. Alright, a lot of things that we as hopeful elect men came across before we came into the truth, were from men of the world, and you can bring some of it, and let me make sure I clarify what I'm saying. You don't bring the worldly nigga into the truth, but the Lord wanted us to know both ends of the spectrum, and there's certain things you can learn from men of the world, like your fathers and your uncles, and men that are older than you and that are more seasoned that went through shit. And, you know, you can pick up on it, all right, especially when it comes to, like dealing with women to a certain degree. All right, certain men, all right, know how to deal with women, all right, and it wouldn't hurt you to listen to them, all right, like a Kevin Samuels and shit, Now that's just their calling in life. It ain't to say that they, are men of the Lord and no shit like that. It's just that's their area of expertise, and you can learn things from, certain people of the world. So I showed you those clips. All right, and let me read this scripture right here. This is 1 Kings 2 and verse 1. It say, "Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man." All right, so King David was on his deathbed, and this is what he told his son, all right? He told his son to go forth and show himself to be a man, all right? Verse 3, it say, "And to keep the charge of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thy power, to walk in all his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whatsoever that thou turnest thyself." All right, so King David, charged his son with keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and to show himself a man. All right, and that's what we, as hopeful elect men, are here in the stead of today. All right, some of us have sons. All right, I know I have one son. All right, and he's young. He's 7 years old. All right, 7 being a number of completion. All right, and he loves everything about the truth. All right, I ever since I've had him, the water to you, how about Shema Shai? The scripture tell you your first son is the beginning of your strength. All right, and when I had him, that's like right when the Lord started drawing me nigh to him. All right, so ever since my son has been at least of the age, I say at least 2.5 to 3, he's known about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He knows about the angels. He knows everything, and he loves it. Like when but he lives with his mother, but he still loves it when he's with me on the weekends and shit. All right, he loves to talk about, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and what they coming to do. All right, and that's a blessing in itself. Even his little sister, which is my youngest daughter, she's the same way. All right, I showed them videos of Matazak Banyanyam, all right, the brother out of Cali. All right, they love those videos. All right, the spiritual power videos, the judgment videos. All right, we sit up and watch that all the time, all right, when they're here. All right, and that's, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, through him, calling me, it put the spirit on me to, share this information with my offspring, all right, my youngest 2. All right, not my oldest 3. But my youngest 2, all right, and they love it, all right. But anyway, you heard some of the clips where the man was like, is the first clip in particular when the dude was like he'd have been much better off in a whole totally different person if he was raised with his father, for the better, all right, and that's absolutely true, all right, because even in this society, all right, 80% of the time when men raise their children grow up and be much better people in society than they do when they're raised with their mothers, all right, especially young men, all right, but it's the same for young girls. Young girls turn out to be much better women when they're raised with their fathers, all right, they ain't whores and thoughts and sluts and shit like these bitches who were raised by their mothers, all right, or because the scripture tell you, as is the mother, so is her daughter, and the majority of our women are, they are what they are, that's why you at the last clip, dude was like, he ain't for dating, single mothers and shit. All right, now that's a double-edged sword. If you a man of the Lord, you're gonna be good either way. But me myself, I've dated a woman with children, but I knew in my mind I wasn't trying to raise her children. That's just being real. I knew I didn't want to raise them. I was like, I got my own children. And here it is, she got 4. I don't want to be these children's father. Shit, I don't want to be financially responsible for them. I don't want them to look at me as their daddy. I don't want none of that. I just want to pop their mama. All right, and that's really what it was. All right, and I ended up getting 2 from that demon. All right, and those are the 2 that the Lord, you know what I'm saying, got that get this understanding. All right, so it all had to happen the way it happened. All right, you know. Let me get another scripture right quick. Let me see. This is Numbers 27:15. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, and Moses was King David as well. All right. Let the Lord, Yahweh Shai, the power of all spirits, of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. So a man is to be over everything, all right, you know. An Israelite elect man at that, but you know, a man, at least a man, all right. You know what I mean? And when I said Moses and King David were the same, I mean, that's meaning the spirit that was in Moses, the same spirit that was in King David, all right. You know what I'm saying? Same spirit that's in Peter. All right, you know, for those who have ears to hear, let me get another one. This is Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. All right, that means know how to know who you dealing with. All right, the Lord made us, you know, He put us in the midst of wolves, but made us wise as serpents. So we know both ends of the spectrum. All right, we know what it is to be wicked, what it is to try to be righteous. All right, we know what it is to do right, to do wrong. We have that spiritual discernment that the Lord gave us, all right? And we're harmless as doves, all right? You know what I mean? In the midst of these wolves, all right? You know what I'm saying? You wicked, ravishing niggas out here, as well as you heathens, all right? But yeah, you know, again, this is really just inspired by just showing that a man is supposed to be at the head of everything, and children, all right, come out much better when it's that way. All right, this is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 42. This is to show you that it's the same thing for young girls. All right, the same way it is for a son, a father cares for his daughter. That love is the same. All right, you know. All right, it say Ecclesiasticus 42, verse 9. The father waketh. It didn't say the mother waketh. It said the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth. And the care for her taketh away sleep when she is young. All right, so men, you know, you worry about your daughters, especially when that box get hot, when they done came into puberty and shit. All right, you know, you gotta worry about them. All right, let me say, lest she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, lest she should be hated. All right, in her virginity, lest she should be defiled, and gotten with child in her father's house. All right, because you gotta understand, on this side, a lot of the daughters of Israel have turned aside after Satan. All right, and the scripture tell you once they wax one time against some Mashiach, then they'll marry. All right, so that box get hot, and then these bitches will let any man quench that fire. All right, many men. All right, young boys. It don't matter. Whatever she is cool with, she gonna open her quiver. All right, and that's a fear of every man. You don't want your daughters being thoughts and sluts and, you know, little neighborhood pass-arounds and shit. You want to marry thy daughter. You know what I'm saying? You want your daughter to be a virgin. You choose her husband. All right, you give her away. All right, not get this defiled one. All right, in her virginity, unless she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. And having a husband, because the first man that going to her is her husband, lest she should misbehave herself, and when she is married, lest she should be barren. All right, verse 11, keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude. All right, that's why you got to keep a sure watch over your daughters. All right, the same way you got to rule and raise your sons. All right, this is Sirach 30. All right, starting at verse 1, he that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chasteneth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintances. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, all right, we read this with David, yet it is as though he were not dead, all right, because Solomon kept his father stead, all right, for he had left one behind him that is like himself, all right, because he raised his son up knowing, you know what I'm saying, what he knows. What's up? I'm almost done. I'll be in there in just a minute. All right. That was my little prince right there. All right, go ahead. I'll be in there in a minute. All right, it say verse 5, it say, while he liveth, while he liveth, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies. What did David tell Solomon to do? He gave him a charge to keep the laws, statutes, commandments, and he gave him a list of his enemies that he wanted Solomon to go take out. All right. So again, it say he left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. All right. So again, this is why it's very, very, very detrimental. I mean, not detrimental. It's very, very, very pivotal for a man to raise his children. It's detrimental for him not to be there. It's very, very pivotal for him to be there. All right. You need that man mindset and that manly grit. All right, for sons and daughters, not just for, you know what I'm saying, one. You need it for both. All right, you know, your children and the offspring will come up much better with a man raising them. All right, than a fucking woman. All right, that's what this lesson was really about. All right, nothing too deep, just some solid, early and to the point. All right, I had them clips and I wanted to read some scriptures. All right, get the day going. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. All right, so all honor, glory, and praise go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach in the course where I learn this truth. Peace and salutations to the Lord select. Shalom.